Reassembly is when a restoration project finally feels real. All those boxes of parts, all those weekends of work, start coming together into something that looks like a car again. Each component going back in is a small victory. The dashboard with its restored gauges, the seats with fresh upholstery, the rebuilt engine lowered carefully back into place. Wiring is the nervous system of your classic. I chose to use a reproduction harness with modern materials but period-correct appearance. This is where you make choices between absolute originality and practical reliability. First start attempts often end in disappointment. You're asking a machine that's been dormant for decades to come back to life. And sometimes it's not ready yet. This is when all your research, all your attention to detail during reassembly pays off. Troubleshooting isn't guesswork, it's methodical detective work. That sound, that's the sound of 1967 coming back to life in 2025. After 11 months, 2,200 hours of labor and more money than I'm willing to admit on camera, the transformation was complete. But the restoration isn't complete until the car fulfills its purpose, being driven. That first drive is terrifying and exhilarating. Every sound, every vibration has you wondering if something's about to go wrong. But when everything holds together, when this machine that you've rebuilt part by part carries you down the road, there's no feeling quite like it in the world. The reactions from others are the final validation, not just the compliments but the stories they share. The guy who tells you his dad had one just like it. The woman who learned to drive in one. The kid who's seeing a classic Mustang in person for the first time. I had a 67 just like this, same color, sold it when our second child was on the way. Biggest mistake I ever made. Want to take it for a spin? This is why we restore classics, not just to preserve machines but to preserve connections, to our past, to our memories, to the people who designed, built and loved these cars before us. Restoration isn't just about bringing back a car, it's about bringing back a piece of history. It's about honoring craftsmanship in an age of disposable everything. When you restore a classic, you become part of its story. Your name won't be on the title forever, but your work, your care, becomes part of the car's journey. These cars were built to last, but they need people who care to keep them going. Every classic you see on the road exists because someone refused to let it die. So, the next time you see a rusty heap sitting in a field, don't just see what it is. See what it could be. See the story waiting to be continued. Because in classic car restoration, we're not just preserving vehicles. If this journey inspired you, hit subscribe to follow more restoration stories. Next week we'll dive deep into engine rebuilding techniques that won't break the bank. Until then, keep the classics alive.